Ariana Grande's life was just saved by Cynthia Erivo. They were attending the Wicked premiere, and suddenly this guy jumped out of the barricade and sprinted directly at Ariana Grande. Even though security barely did their job, luckily we have Cynthia Erivo who peeled this dude off of Ariana Grande. After this dude grabbed Ariana Grande around her neck, you can literally see Cynthia yelling at this dude to get off of Ariana Grande. And we now know who this creep is. And this is where it gets so much more worse.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry. I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos that's gonna make us question everything. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Seek the truth.
Let me tell you about some history that we were not taught in school. Despite Antarctica for not being discovered for forever, the first two claims of its discovery were within the same 3 days. Einstein's famous tongue-out photo was taken on his 72nd birthday after a long day of posing for photographers. He was tired of posing, so he wanted to stick out his tongue instead and purposefully ruin the photo. Well, that backfired. Actress and Playboy playmate Jane Mayfield's father passed away of a heart attack while she was 3 years old inside of his car. And then her daughter was 3 years old and inside of the car when she passed away in a car accident. One of the most prominent methods of combating the Great Fire of London was to just blow up buildings so that it would isolate the fire in certain areas.
This is the real reason why some religions ban pork.
Where they're putting human body parts into the pig supply and the pork supply. The Reynolds family used to own 60% of all the crematoriums and moratoriums in the United States and funeral homes, and they would dispose of bodies that way too. Pig farms. Pig farms. Because a pig will dispose. A couple of pigs will dispose of bodies in 2 minutes. And then they feed that to the populace. Don't eat pig. I would not strongly warn people against that enough. Parasites and hookworms are serious things. That's why a lot of Southerners are what Southerners are. Understand something. Southerners and a lot of their speech and their cadence and their rhythm is hookworms. 9 out of 10 times. Really? 1 for 1, they are ruled by parasites. Detox them, their brains turn on, and they're sharp and capable communicators. Almost immediately. Tapeworms and hookworms come pouring out of them. But they were mostly fed pork diets. Whereas out west, you see a lot less of it, and in the north, because beef tended to be the predominant thing. Sheep before that, but beef tended to feed them a lot more often.
Pork is some of the worst meat for you. It's just not a clean creature, so why would you want to put that in your body? As always, stay weird.
Massive, horrifying statue was abandoned in Japan. Let's talk about it. And this is how massive it is in comparison to people, by the way. Absolutely huge. If you have megalophobia, you're not going to be liking this one. This is the giant statue. It is over 150 feet long, so like a 15-story building sideways. It was called Gulliver's Kingdom, and it was a theme park that was right by Mount Fuji in Japan. That's a really cool photo. This thing, horrific though, and abandoned. This is a bunch of people crawling around on its hand. Oh my god, I hate this. And the fact that it's abandoned and it's that big. They did graffiti on Bro's face. Like, it was a whole theme park built around Gulliver's Travels, and this was supposed to be like the real Lilliput. Like, you actually walked into it. But like, imagine coming across this thing, like at night, and not knowing it's there. Oh my goodness, how do you feel? Because you see, if I were to come across this massive statue at night, not knowing it was there, I would quite literally poop my soul out. How are we feeling about this? Imagine it in water.
When was the last time you saw the Olsen twins? Mary Kate and Ashley? Why do I ask? Because they're now featured in a Louis Vuitton ad, and they are unrecognizable, leaving their fans asking the question, what happened to the Olsen twins? If you haven't seen the ad, take a look at this. That is the Olsen twins featured in a Louis Vuitton ad. Does that look like the Olsen twins to you? Here are a few more images from the Louis Vuitton Staying Alive ad. Okay, I would have not thought that this was the Olsen twins, Mary Kate and Ashley, if they didn't see their names listed on the ad. Take a look below.
That looks like AI.
So the question once again needs to be asked. Has Hollywood claimed more celebrities? These are the Olsen twins that we're all accustomed to seeing. So who are these Olsen twins in this Louis Vuitton ad? So I guess my question to you is, has Hollywood claimed more celebrities? Let me know your thoughts in the comments as to what you think is going on with the Olsen twins. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Here's some.
I think some of those freaking photos were enhanced with AI, bro. That's what I think, man. Some of those photos, like I said, if you set them side by side, bro, I think it's just an edit. That's what I really think, bro. You know, freaking Elizabeth Olsen. It's related to the Olsen twins as well, bro. Man, that was mind blowing, bro. I didn't even put that together until a couple years ago.
The greatest conspiracy theories of all time, Part 6. The Lion King is one of Disney's most popular and beloved movies. For those who have seen it, I'm sure you all remember Mufasa's tragic death at the hands of Scar. However, it is not made clear what happens to Mufasa's body after Simba runs away. But there's a small detail in the movie that may answer this question. Doing some quick research, you will find that lions only have 2 natural enemies. One of those enemies is hyenas, and the other is other lions. In one of the scenes where Zazu is locked up, you can see Scar playing with a skull. But if you look up what animal it belongs to, you will see that Scar is playing with a lion skull. Scar also lives in his cave with the rest of the hyenas, and it is said that they barely have any food. It is possible that Scar brought Mufasa's body back to his cave, and him and the hyenas ate him together.
Really?
Something has to be said about these little kids who bow down when they hear Alexa or Google, or when someone says, "Hey Alexa" or "Hey Google." All these kids bow down. It's not just one, a full-on compilation of little kids being scared and bowing down. And I know what y'all are going to say, oh, they're just scared. They don't know where the voice is coming from. No, you got to understand, when you put these things into your home, these little kids are the closest thing to perfection that a human will ever be. They are the closest thing to God that a human would ever be. So when they see or feel, or even the little frequencies that are in these home smart boxes, like the Google Homes and the Alexas, these kids are hearing and feeling the frequencies that are being put out. Yes, it's all fun and games. It's fun to troll and laugh with them, but these kids are bowing down. And the question has to be, what are they bowing down to? And I know what you're expecting. Oh, it's demonic. Yes, obviously. Bet you didn't know that these Alexas and the Google Homes, they're listening to your conversations, okay? Some of them are even watching you, okay? And I guarantee that you guys don't even know that. Could it be a form of surveillance? Or whatever the case may be, kids getting in this fetal position and bowing down while hearing this should not bring laughter. It should bring concern. I would get these things out of my house if I were you.
If you've got it.
Any secrets, man? Y'all use the Alexas or those, I guess freaking smart systems, bro. That's the second report we've seen of those kids bowing down, man. So it has to be legit. The fact that they were actually bowing down when they heard the name like, "Hey Alexa," or "Hey Google" or something, man. Get those systems out of your house, bro.
Big hoke on you is about to get pretty bad. There has been a few recalls over the past year, but now there's another one for the second time this year. Coca-Cola has reportedly recalled over 70,000 cans and bottles because of what just happened. A while ago they found chloride in fizzy drinks, which of course is not good, and you definitely do not want to be ingesting that. But now they found traces of metal contamination, which to me sounds a bit worse. This was mainly in the States, of course, and in Texas, and they recalled them from a bunch of shops, but also is happening in Asia and other places in the world. There is specific multi-packs which have been affected by this and recalled, but of course if you're not in the States, you probably wouldn't know that, so I'll give you the codes in a minute. But if you do have a batch of drinks that have that code on it, then I would recommend either taking them back and exchanging them if you can, or just chucking it away, because it's not worth drinking it. If you're going to be ingesting metal, probably not the best idea. This right here is a list of all the multi-packs that are affected, so make sure you screenshot that now. Share this video about with someone who drinks Cokes and fizzy drinks so that they can check their packs too, and I will keep you updated.
We now have tiny flying cars that do not require you to have a pilot's license. What could go wrong? This is the Pivotal Helix. It's fully electric, weighs less than some motorbikes, and only requires a 2-week training course before you can take to the skies. You don't need a freaking runway to take off or land because it lifts vertically similar to a helicopter. It comes with a parachute and a flotation device, just in case. And by weighing only 348 pounds, it's categorized as an ultralight aircraft, meaning it actually bypasses a lot of US aircraft regulations, which is also why you don't actually need a license to fly. But before you say, take my money, there's almost no point. It can only fly about 20 miles or 20 minutes before the batteries die. There's only one seat for the driver, so no passengers, all alone. And it's still actually banned by the FAA from flying over congested areas such as neighborhoods and cities, so it's not even like you can skip the traffic. And with a starting price of $190,000, it's kind of expensive for a joyride. So the question is, are flying cars still the future, or should we just let it go at this point?
Let it go.
So China just had us all fooled at this point. Well, I know I was fooled. When it comes to their infrastructure, I thought they was the best in the world. Apparently I was wrong though, just from looking at this picture. This is a bridge in China, y'all. And this bridge was built like 2-3 months ago. And look at that jump, y'all. That jump collapsed, fool. Watch the video. I was really thinking they was the best in the world, fool. I wonder if anybody got unalived by this jump. What they saying, y'all? He said Donatello. What that mean? Shit crazy. Now it just make you think. Y'all remember they built the dam too. I wonder if that dam gonna hold up. It's funny because when I made my video on the dam, people was like, you out of your damn mind. Because I was like, damn, China #1 at building shit. Because they built it so quick. And now I'm seeing the results of them trying to build shit so quick. So if China is not the best at building shit in the world, I want y'all down below in the comments, make a top 5. Let me know who's on y'all top 5. Is America at the #1 or who's at #1?
Top 5. China has to be in there. I'm gonna say United States. London. What else? I'm gonna put Australia on there, and last one, Russia. That's my top 5. What's your top 5, so you could?
Moon is rusted.
I've heard about it.
So there's this kid that took like the most high quality picture of the moon ever taken, over like 2,000 images that he could find. And you can clearly see that the moon is rusting.
Okay.
Or I saw this on NASA. Research indicates the presence of hematite, a form of rust that normally requires oxygen and water. This has scientists puzzled. Hematite is a name that is derived from the Greek word meaning blood. Joel 2, it says, the sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood, and it shall come to pass that everyone who calls in the name of the Lord shall be saved, as the Lord has said, and among the survivors shall be those whom the Lord calls.
That's weird.
It's throughout scripture, the moon turning to blood, and like, what does that mean? So like the Bible, it was ultimately translated into Greek at one point, right? And the Greek word for blood is hematite, the same word that they use for this rust.
Yeah.
And so it's like the moon has hematite on it.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's all gonna end soon, see you better.
End times is coming, my friends.
Y'all are not
Crazy.
taking this shit as serious as y'all supposed to be. The sun didn't just flare. The sun exploded in our direction. Something is happening above us right now. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss the moment the world quietly shifts into a different chapter. Over the past few days, the sun unleashed 3 major X-flares, including the X5.1 on November 11th. And the last flare, it wasn't normal. That last flare created a full halo coronal mass injection, meaning that shit aimed at us. Scientists are already tracking this shit as a potential G3, G4 geomagnetic storm. And now here's the part that nobody wants to talk about. While all this shit is happening, 3i Atlas, the interstellar object that nobody can explain, is still out there, glowing green and acting like it's observing us. Every time the sun flares, 3i Atlas reacts. Spectral spikes, tail brightening, almost like this shit is taking notes. Now you tell me that's normal. I'll wait. I need you to remember that they were saying that 3i Atlas was behind the sun. I need you to remember what they were saying about 3i Atlas.
12 miles long, moving at 145,000 miles an hour. And then it goes missing behind the sun. And after it goes missing behind the sun and moves, look at what happens to the sun. Just think about this, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Power grids could overload. Transformers could blow. Satellites can glitch. GPS, communication, airline navigation, all vulnerable. But scientists are saying this is completely normal. Hopefully it is normal. Hopefully it's not. But this shit is serious. Pay attention.
Biggest thing on
Man, this 3 Eyelash joint, bro. I keep seeing more clips, and when I search through TikTok, man, I always see clips on 3 Eyelash, man. Y'all really think it's behind the geo storm that's about to, I guess, hit us, bro? It's behind the sun flaring up? That's scary, man. And people not paying attention to it, bro. I guarantee you, if you walk around the street, ask a person what 3 Eyelash is, they have no idea, man. That's why I'm glad I'm tapped in.
The news right now, also a recession indicator. The Starbucks Barista Cup.
Wait, what?
Oh, this is the deal with Boo Boo, fam. Oh, you don't know. Starbucks just came out with it's a bear with a Starbucks hat on it and the straw that goes out like this.
Okay,
right?
okay.
This is my theory. This is a whole social experiment that Starbucks did just to expose this whole recession, because all we can look forward to is this $30 luxury cup. Mans were elbowing people in line for it.
Go ahead. All right, Karen. All right, that's fine. On the photos, bring up the photos.
You're escalating the situation.
I'm not. I'm in line, just like everybody else.
Everybody else was in line out there.
I was in line the same way.
Wow. They were arguing, sending threats to Starbucks because the workers got first dibs and they were lining up for 5 hours.
Sneakers, bro.
Fam, sneakers just for this bare cup.
Yeah.
You can get this cup on Amazon without the Starbucks branding for $15.
It is a recession.
But why does everyone want it?
Yeah. Because what's gonna happen? Because the Labubu, I guess, idea is proven. They're just gonna start remixing that shit,
bro. And they just made new versions, so it's you have a winter version, you have a Christmas version. Oh, they know exactly what to do. This is peak consumerism at a time of recession.
It's the only way to survive if you're buried alive. First thing you want to do is make sure you stay as calm as possible and make sure you don't panic. Also, you need to slow down your breathing so you don't waste up all of the oxygen that you have in the coffin. Next thing, you want to find something hard like a rock or a belt buckle. Now you can use this to bang against the coffin just in case there's somebody above that happened to be walking by. Next thing you want to do if nobody hears you is find a sharp object and start poking at the top of the coffin. Next thing you want to do is push the dirt underneath you and try to work your way up towards the top of the coffin. And if you're buried recently, the dirt should be soft, allowing you to escape to freedom. And please don't ask how I know this. Trust me, you just don't want to know.
What do you mean the guy?
Bro, how to escape the coffin, man? I know everybody's seen that scene in freaking Kill Bill, bro. That was the first time I remember watching that, bro. I'm like, you gonna punch your way out, bro? That's how I know how to escape a coffin, man.
That attacked Ariana Grande has done this before. And now that he's out of jail, he is bragging about it, and it is effing creepy. So today, Ariana Grande's life was just saved by Cynthia Erivo. They were attending the Wicked premiere, and suddenly this guy jumped out of the barricade and sprinted directly at Ariana Grande. Even though security barely did their job, luckily we have Cynthia Erivo who peeled this dude off of Ariana Grande. After this dude grabbed Ariana Grande around her neck, you can literally see Cynthia yelling at this dude to get off of Ariana Grande. And we now know who this creep is. And this is where it gets so much more worser. This dude's name is Johnson Wen. And when he got to the premiere last night, he said he was so excited to finally meet Ariana Grande. And even more insaner, he just posted that he was already free after being arrested. And he is also posting bragging about how he did this to Ariana Grande, as well as how proud he is of himself for getting arrested. Not only did he ruin the entire Wicked premiere for everybody else, just this past year, he's done this like 6 or 7 times. But he was also the guy that crashed the Katy Perry show and made her feel super uncomfortable. But what's even more sadder is this dude loves the attention. Do you feel bad for Ariana Grande?
Yeah.
About the breakfast theory. The theory says that breakfast isn't really the most vital meal of the day. It's just all propaganda. So hear this. The origins of breakfast were not actually for health. It was really for selling more and more meat. So there's a guy called Edward Bernays, and they call him the grandfather of propaganda. Back in the day, they didn't really eat breakfast like how we eat breakfast today with meat, like bacon, sausages, and then eggs too, all that stuff. The majority of the time, they didn't even eat breakfast. They just intermittent fasted, which is actually proven to be healthier now. I remember milkmen too. They were pushing milk so heavily because they had a massive supply and not enough demand. And where does milk come from? Cows, so there's excess meat, but there's so much meat to the point that they couldn't sell it. So they just made breakfast a staple, saying that a doctor claims it is the most important meal of the day, which was all allegedly false. It was a way just to sell more meat. remember, this is just a theory. It is not a fact.
Okay, first of all, have y'all seen this? Scientists want a possible November attack by an alien species that's heading towards Earth at 130,000 miles per hour. First of all, I don't know how they know this, but this over here, okay? Now, have you seen our skies ever since they did this over here? This right here was recorded in Dallas, Texas. This family happened to be looking through a telescope that they just recently bought, and then when they looked in it, they seen this green thing flashing, looking like some type of squid or jellyfish, y'all. Check this out. Look at this.
What is that?
I don't know about y'all, but it look like it got teeth. Y'all see that? It look like it's got teeth, and this thing is. What about the spear that was caught in Mexico? That was caught going inside of this volcano, y'all. This thing got clouds all around it. I know it's a volcano, but that's a great place to do something like this, y'all. Like, nobody would be thinking to look between the clouds and the volcano, but this family happened to be. And they got this metallic looking spear just descending down into the volcano. What's in the volcano? Hold on, y'all did remember that they told us there are these golden eggs near this volcano, right? And now you got these spheres going down in the volcano. All right, besides that, did y'all see this in Dubai? Look at this. This red flashing light. But if you look closely, there's something obfuscating in the clouds, y'all.
Continue, something appears in Dubai's sky.
Y'all see this? Above the light. Y'all see that? It looks like another sphere. Look, it's another sphere. Y'all see that?
I see it.
What is that? And here's some more action going on in the skies of Texas. Look at the clouds, first of all, but this green plasma thing is just ripping through the sky, y'all. What is that? So there is a prophecy out there by this Bulgarian prophet by the name of Baba Vaga, where she states that in 2025, aliens will be coming down to visit Earth. And a lot of her prophecies has come to pass, including 9/11. 9/11 was one of her predictions, and she bet that, and she got that on the money. And now, in November 2025, we're supposedly getting visited by extraterrestrials. Y'all remember those handbooks that they gave out to the police, right? They told them, get ready for aliens. Do y'all remember that? Remember that a few months ago? So what is getting ready to happen on the world stage, y'all? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. I've been telling y'all, the 888 portal is shifting. It's strong, y'all. I know y'all feel it. But the shift is here. Let me know down in the comments below. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
Women in Japan are actually paying to stay in prison. See, Japan's elderly population is skyrocketing, and with it, a shocking trend. There has been a surge in elderly women committing crimes like shoplifting deliberately to get sent to prison because the loneliness on the outside is so severe. In fact, in the last 20 years, the number of elderly inmates has risen by almost 300%. See, because on the outside, these women often live alone with no family to visit them or financial support to rely on. One inmate interviewed said her 43-year-old son, who she was living with, once said to her, "I don't care when you die, I wish you'd just go away." But now she's behind bars, she has routine, people to speak with, meals, and even medical care. Rather than shouting at them, the guards go as far as changing their diapers, helping them bathe, eat, and even take their medication. One said it now feels more like an elderly home rather than a prison full of convicted criminals. There's some that even say they will pay 20 to 30,000 yen a month just to live there forever. And even though they eat their meals in a cell alone in silence, just knowing that others are around is enough.
I was just about to say that. That doesn't sound like a prison. That sounds like an elderly home. But the fact that they have to go to that extreme just to get there, just so they won't feel alone anymore when their families left them, that's sad, truly.
Here are some of the dumbest crimes committed by children, except each time it gets dumber. A 12-year-old kid in Rockville, Maryland has admitted to police that he sent in at least 7 bomb threats to various schools in his area. And he said that he did it because he knew that he couldn't be charged for it. Which is true, because in Maryland, children under the age of 13 can only be charged for something that falls under a Crime of violence. The kid was smart enough to know the law, but dumb enough to call in a bunch of bomb threats for some reason. The kid might actually have a bright future ahead of him. At a theme park in North Carolina, a 13-year-old boy climbed inside of a claw machine to steal one of the toys and got stuck. According to reports, he spent 17 minutes inside of it until someone was able to come pull him out, after which he was banned from the park for a year for attempted theft and being a dumbass. In North Carolina, a 6-year-old boy was arrested for picking flowers from a yard while waiting at a bus stop. The crazy part is he actually had to go to court for destruction of property. The kid's attorney was quoted saying the boy's attention span was so short she had to give him a picture to color during the trial. Thankfully, the case was dismissed, but this happened because North Carolina has one of the lowest minimum ages for criminal charges, and most recently it was just raised to 8 years old. My question is, who the hell is calling the cops on a 6-year-old?
Yeah, who? And the fact that he had to go to court for picking flowers? What's wrong with people, man? This is a kid. You can't let that slide. It's not like you're doing things destructive.
In the world right now. If the Chiefs defeat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, the Eagles' all-time record will be 666 wins and 666 losses. A judge annulled the marriage of a couple after the bride came to the court and said that she only participated in the wedding because she thought it was a social media prank. Another judge sentenced a woman for setting a home on fire with 3 other people in it using Takis tortilla chips. A bank robber was dazed and confused when his getaway bike was stolen. A Texas teenager was accused of using poison to end the life of a rival's competition show goat. A man in Cleveland was quoted saying he's tired of cars running into his house all the time after 3 have crashed in the last 10 years. A man in California was arrested after he told the officer he was the DUI instead of the DD. A woman was rescued after getting caught in an Italian cave for the 2nd time in 2 years. The EU fined the EU for breaking EU data protection law.
Fun facts you wouldn't believe are true. Godzilla is an actual citizen of Japan. Some species of jellyfish are actually immortal. The patent for a fire hydrant was destroyed in a fire. Outer space is only 62 miles away. You could drive there in an hour. If you flattened your lungs out, they would have about the same surface area as a tennis court. Saturn is the lightest planet. If there was a big enough body of water, it would float. An astronaut spacesuit runs about $12 million. The moon looks close, but you can actually fit every planet in the solar system between the Earth and the moon. In a lab here on Earth, scientists created a plasma that reached a temperature of 9.9 trillion degrees Fahrenheit. Over 50,000 people on Earth have alien abduction insurance policies.
Here are 3 ways to hack your body. Number 1, if your arms ever fall asleep, just shake your head like this and it will go away instantly. Number 2, if you ever have a stuffy nose, just hold your breath until you have to breathe again, and this will give you adrenaline, which will clear your sinuses. And number 3, if you ever have to really go to the bathroom but there's no place to go, just scratch the back of your calf as hard as you can. This will actually stall your brain, making it that you forgot you ever had to go.
I need to try that to see if that's actually true.
Facts that I wish I didn't know. When you die, the last thing to go is your hearing. So as all your other mortal sensations are leaving this world, the last thing you're ever going to experience are the sounds going on around you, which very well could be like your family members crying or cheering. By the year 2050, there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. When pigs get a cold, like a cough, very often they will shoot their intestines out of their anus, and farmers have to, like, stuff it back.
What? I heard that about pigs, but I assumed it was cat.
Human body parts that are completely useless now. Number 1 is your external ear. Auricular muscles control the visible part of the ear, but humans have lost the ability to control this muscle, and other mammals can move their ears with these muscles in order to detect prey and localize sound. Next is wisdom teeth. About 85% of adults nowadays will have at least 1 wisdom tooth. Our ancestors used to have larger jaws, so wisdom teeth fit better, which is why we get ours removed now, and it was the answer for the need for chewing power that they needed. Next is body hair. Body hair was once required for warmth, and you can see we've lost a lot of it over time. We now have it in a reduced form. Next is your appendix. In plant-eating mammals, the appendix helps digest cellulose, and the appendix might not be completely useless. A recent study found that it helps aid in good gut bacteria. So let's say you have diarrhea and your intestines are flushed out, it provides good bacteria back to your gut after that.
This is the fifth scariest movie according to science. Paranormal Activity, released December 3rd, 2008. Before watching this movie, your beats per minute is around 62. While watching the movie though, it's bumped up to 85, making it a 15% difference in your beats per minute. A woman and a husband move into their dream home in San Diego. Unfortunately, since the woman could remember, she had felt like she had a weird paranormal presence around her. That wasn't good. After the first couple nights of living in the new house and they can't sleep, the husband then sets up a camera in the bedroom. And the things they see, well, I guess you're just gonna have to watch the movie. The movie, as I said, is called Paranormal Activity, and it is supposedly the fifth scariest movie, according to science.
Not for me. I know I don't do scary movies.
If you're celebrating Halloween, you need to know about this movie. This movie was so popular when I was a kid, but I realized a lot of people actually don't know about it. Trick or Treat is a 2007 horror movie that includes 5 different Halloween-themed horror stories. So I'm gonna explain all 5 of them. The first story, called Opening, is about Emma and her boyfriend Henry who go home on Halloween night. Emma blows out a jack-o'-lantern and starts tearing down all their Halloween decorations, not knowing that someone is watching her, and she's just made a terrible mistake. The second story, Principal, begins with Charlie stealing candy from his high school principal's house when trick-or-treating, but then he gets caught by the principal, who seems to be hiding a secret double life. The third story is probably the most well-known, called Halloween School Bus. A group of teens go to a flooded quarry, where one of them tells the group about the urban legend of the Halloween school bus. And in this urban legend, 8 disabled students were unalived by a school bus driver, because their parents all asked the school bus driver to get rid of them, as the parents were tired of taking care of them. Then we find out this might not be an urban legend after all. The fourth story, Surprise Party, is about a group of women who meet a hooded man dressed as a vampire. This story has a very interesting plot twist that you won't see coming. And the last story, Sam, is about the neighbor of the principal from the second story. And he hates Halloween. But as he walks out of his house, he realizes his entire lawn is full of jack-o'-lanterns. And there's mysterious messages written all over. In this story, it's finally revealed who this creepy pumpkin from the movie poster truly is. Follow for more.
Now, I'm sure we've all fallen asleep before and our arm went to sleep, right? And all you need to do to get rid of it is shake your head from left to right and it'll be gone instantly. Next, if you ever feel the urge to pee really bad but you can't find a restroom anywhere, start rubbing the back of your legs just like this. And in theory, it should just stop the urge instantly, because it'll force your brain to forget about it. And if you're ever enjoying a nice ice cream and you start getting brain freeze, try to warm up your thumb and put it in the roof of your mouth as flat as possible. Apparently, this will make your brain freeze go away instantly. And finally, if like many others you're having troubles falling asleep, try to blink your eyes super fast for 60 seconds, because it'll make your eyes tired, which will make it easier for you to fall asleep.
Just blink. We getting the ultimate life hacks, you know, with these clips. Psychological facts we need to know. The internet. Yeah, stay off the net. That's some good advice. You feel the same way? 3 to 4 a.m.? Really complicated relation. You don't say. Nicest people look mean at first. That's true. I can believe that one. Songs, they do express feelings and emotions, so.
Southeast Oklahoma. On a foggy day in 1970, a group of high school kids are cruising the back roads of Southeast Oklahoma. One of the boys had to pee, so they pulled over. He got out of the truck, walked about 50 yards into the woods so that he couldn't be seen. He heard a tree snap, looked up, and he's staring in the eyes of a creature 3 foot taller than any man. It had matted hair, red eyes, and blood dripping off its chin. The boys ran as fast as they could back to the truck, yelling, "Start the truck, start the truck!" But what happens next is terrifying. The boys go to the sheriff's department, and when the deputy goes out to investigate, all he sees is animal carcasses everywhere, and the legend of the Green Hill Monster was born.
Green Hill Monster? We're gonna have to definitely do some research on that. That's my first time even hearing about that. That's why I watch these clips with you guys, man. Always expand my knowledge base.
Science are real, and I'm gonna show you exactly why. It's always the guy with the backwards baseball cap talking about this goofy shit. How's it going? My name's Vinny Santoro. I got a bachelor's of business from UMass Lowell. I like your chain though, dude. No hard feelings. I know a paisan when I see one. I just gotta give you a hard time. Everything grew a lot bigger because of oxygen levels. You should start teaching critical thinking at UMass Lowell. The time when there was more oxygen was like 200 million years ago, and the only thing that got bigger was insects. If this was a tree, the branches would be in like the goddamn troposphere. Does that make any sense? We read about them everywhere. They're in the Bible. They're right. But wait till you hear this. This book is called The Phantom Toll Booth, and in it there's a dog with a clock in it. Liberal media wants you to think this doesn't exist, but it literally says it right there in the book. The Smithsonian, they had their fingers in all of these reports. I love how many conspiracy theorists cite the whole Smithsonian destroyed giant skeletons claim literally originated in 2014 on a satire website. It was literally like The Onion. So you'll get these videos of these conspiracy theorists who are like, yeah, I have my third eye open, I read between the lines, and their source is like fucking Clickhole. This creepy painting is actually some sort of evil apparition. Let's talk about the Rat Queen from the Layers of Fear remake. And of course, spoilers ahead. The Rat Queen also exists in the original versions of Layers of Fear 1 and 2, but we're going to be focusing on the remake. The Rat Queen appears mostly as a painting in the stories of the painter from Layers of Fear 1 and the actor from Layers of Fear 2. She seems like a malevolent force that rats are drawn to, but it's unclear as to what her intentions are. What's really happening is that in the remake, the writer is writing the stories of the painter and the actor. For those of you not familiar with the series, these are character names. At the beginning of the writer's time living in the lighthouse, she unknowingly enters a pact with the painting of the Rat Queen. And part of that pact is the Rat Queen helping her turn those stories into successful books. However, this comes at a cost, and the writer ended up losing her son as a result of the pact. She returned to the lighthouse to burn the Rat Queen painting, but was met with a surprise. The physical form of the Rat Queen appeared and locked her in the lighthouse forever.
It's a
People are
spooky
freaking out
story.
trying to get the new Lamborghini profile icon, but everyone's getting scammed trying to do it. Over the last few months, there's been loads of profile icons coming out, and now you may have seen this new McLaren one going about. Quite cool, especially compared to some of the other ones we've had, but no one actually knows how to get it. A lot of people were saying that if you just type McLaren in the comment section, it comes up and gives it to you, but it definitely doesn't. But what is the actual way to do it? Well, I'll tell you right now. So first of all, you've got to go over to Tate McRae's page. Who, if you don't know, is this person right here. Click on her profile picture and it will come up with this, and you press Get Frame. After that, it will take you to this page, which comes up with her new release and loads of stuff. Where then, similar to the Squid Game one, you have to take part in a few challenges, complete these things before you can get it. Such as following her, posting a video to the song, and also putting that in the hashtags of the video. Once your video is done, set to public and posted, after you've done this and the video is posted, the frame should just pop up on your page. If it doesn't, just click on your profile picture, go to frames where you can see all of yours, and select this one, and there you go. Scariest.
So I guess that's how people be manipulating the system. Gotta do all that just, and people be doing that just to get an icon of a car on top of their profile. I wonder how many artists does that trick, man. They call it marketing, but could be looking at, you know, as manipulating the market, man. I don't know.
Things ever found in the woods. A biker was in a Colorado forest when he found a metal wire tied across two trees. Soon more bikers began reporting the same thing. Someone had even lost their lives to one of these wires. It seems someone wants to harm bikers for some reason. Police have been looking into this, but so far have not found whoever's doing it. In December 2014, a man heard screaming coming from the woods behind his house.
It's a kid screaming for his dad.
You can hear a girl screaming "Daddy" and an adult voice saying, "Where are you?" The man who heard this said he checked the news every day, but heard nothing about the incident on the news. Some people commented on this, saying it may have been a setup for a kidnapping, but really, we don't know. One day, a Forest Service officer was doing a routine patrol of a trail in Utah. That's when he noticed a tripwire tied between two trees. He followed the wire, and it led him to this. A ball made of rocks and sharpened sticks, which was set to fall when the tripwire was hit. That was bad enough, but he soon found another trap on the same trail. A tripwire pulled tight, which would cause people to fall into a bed of sharpened sticks. Police began investigating this, which led them to two men, Benjamin Rodkowski and Kai Christensen. They claimed the traps had been set for animals, but the police did not believe this. The two men were later sentenced to 30 days in jail.
Just 30 days? These are some Rambo crap. Just 30 days? That ain't enough. Saw that dragonfish? That always blows my mind, man, when we go like under the sea, and we just find new creatures. I'm pretty sure the
Here are 6 facts that sound completely fake but are 100% true. I can pretty much guarantee you one of these will be the coolest thing you've heard all day. Firstly, Picasso was alive at the same time as Eminem and Charles Darwin. Let that sink in for a second. What? Stonehenge was a tourist attraction for ancient Romans. The can opener wasn't invented until 48 years after the can. I mean, what? I imagine a lot of you enjoy eating oysters. I absolutely fucking do not. So might you after this fact. I'm so sorry. Oysters are always served to you alive. They only die when they go down your gullet. I mean, that's just What? If you shuffle a deck of cards, it is statistically likely that you've shuffled them in an order that has never existed before and will never exist again. Essentially, you were the first person in history to shuffle them in that exact sequence. Oh, and while we're on the topic of just what the fuck, there are more ways to play a game of chess than there are atoms in the observable universe. And if you type this into the comments, you unlock a secret TikTok emoji. Okay, that's enough wine for the day. Everyone with me?
Really?
Let's talk about a disturbing horror game that left me with more questions than answers. I Live Under Your House. Full game playthrough on my channel. This entire game is an enigma. You play as an unnamed creature that we never get to see. The only thing we know about your character is that they live underground beneath modern human civilization. You don't like leaving your tunnels, you don't want to go to the surface. But in this game, you have to. Loud construction work occurring directly above you causes you to investigate the surface, and you end up coming face to face with the human couple. The main hook of the gameplay is the amazing art style and trying to figure out what exactly you are. And the ending of this game, as well as its DLC, were certainly not what I expected.
So check that out. I think I could check out some scary games.
This is genuinely one of the most disturbing videos I have ever seen. It is the final footage that was found of a man who got lost in the Paris catacombs. In the 90s, a group of explorers were going through the catacombs of Paris, and they were getting pretty deep in there when they found a camera that was just abandoned. And upon reviewing the footage, they realized that it was from a man who was exploring down there, but he got lost. Watching the footage is incredibly chilling because he's picking up bones and skulls while he's exploring, but there's a point where either he hears something or he sees something and he begins running. He's running frantically and you can hear his breath getting louder and louder and louder. There's points where he doesn't know which way to turn, and finally, as he's running, he drops the camera. Based off of the paintings that people were able to see in the footage and the testimony of the people who found the camera, this man was insanely deep underground in the catacombs. He was really far into the uncharted sections. And you may have heard of the film As Above, So Below, the movie that was actually inspired by this footage. As Above, So Below is a found footage horror movie about a group of people going into the Paris catacombs trying to find a hidden chamber to find the Philosopher's Stone, the secret to eternal life, but they actually end up going into the layers of hell. And the creators of this film saw this found footage from the 90s and it inspired them to make their own movie. So As Above, So Below is based on a true story. I'm doing a whole episode over on my pod Frightful Fandom talking about the history of the catacombs, what they were used for, this very unfortunate true life case, and of course As Above, So Below.
Here are 10 creepy, disturbing, and scary facts you didn't know. Part 2. Today's high school students have the same anxiety levels as insane asylum patients had in the 1950s. Until 1974, it was illegal to appear in public in the city of Chicago if you were ugly. During the early 1990s, a serial killer named Joseph Metheny owned a burger stand located in Baltimore, Maryland. After his arrest in 1996, he confessed to feeding his customers the flesh of at least 3 humans he had murdered. A new homeowner was shocked to find a rag doll boarded up in a wall cavity, clutching a note saying she killed a family. In 1977, we received a radio signal from space that lasted 42 seconds. To this day, we still don't know where that signal came from. The movie The Hills Have Eyes was based on the true story of the Bean Clan, a Scottish family who would secretly ambush, kill, and eat travelers for 25 years. In 1957, two sisters, Joanna and Jacqueline Pollock, were killed in a tragic car accident. A year later, their mother gave birth to twins, Jennifer and Jillian. Then it gets weird. Jennifer, the younger twin, had scars and birthmarks on her body that were identical to Jacqueline's, the deceased younger sister. The twins began to ask for toys that had belonged to the deceased girl, toys they had no knowledge of. Albert Fish, an American serial killer, boasted that he killed in every state and claimed to have had over 100 victims. What makes him even more sickening is that he sent letters to his victims' parents to tell them how good their children tasted. A man named Francesco Lentini had 3 legs, 4 feet, 16 toes, and 2 sets of functioning male genitals. He worked for a circus and lived until the age of 78. In 2011, Anatoly Yurovich was arrested after 12 dolls were found in his apartment. However, they weren't regular dolls. They were recently deceased little girls that he had dug up, dressed up, and displayed. Like for part 3.
Y'all do not know what be going through people's mouths.
On Instagram, Katarina was visiting in the Bahamas. She wanted to copy those Instagram photos where models are swimming with sharks. Everything was going well at first, until one of the sharks bit her arm and dragged her right underwater. She received huge bite marks.
I've had stitches and I've done a ton of different antibiotics.
She said she would swim with them again.
What? Oh, she done lost her mind, bro.
Crazy history you were not taught in school. Deep within the Earth lies the remains of a planet that crashed into us billions of years ago. Muammar Gaddafi submitted a proposal to the UN suggesting that Switzerland be merged into Germany, Italy, and France. A shipwreck from 1773 was found just 7 feet under the World Trade Center's foundation during the cleanup aftermath of 9/11. Genghis Khan caused so much devastation that the vegetation regrowth from the lands he conquered led to a notable decrease in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This man ran a mile in under 4 minutes during a time where it was believed if you did that, your heart would explode. But now today, thousands of people have done it. George Washington's favorite food was hoe cakes, which was a type of pancake that was made out of cornbread. Alexander the Great conquered the known world, but never attempted to attack Sparta. Actual knights fought in World War I. Napoleon never exhibited any signs of PTSD despite being engaged in warfare for over 2 decades.
Did you guys hear about that French woman who was scammed out of $800,000 because she believed that she was in a relationship with Brad Pitt? I feel like the average young person would know not to fall for this type of scam, but there are older people who don't really use social media and wouldn't know any better. So basically what happened is this 53-year-old French woman was contacted on social media by this person who pretended to be Brad Pitt's mother, and they started talking, created this friendship, and eventually she told her that Brad Pitt was very sick and needed $800,000 for a kidney treatment. So since this 53-year-old woman named Anne was falling for the scam, they decided to bring Brad Pitt into the picture. Brad Pitt himself starts messaging Anne, and they were talking for about a year and a half and made her believe that they were in a relationship. So this woman believed that they were in love and Brad Pitt was divorcing Angelina Jolie to be with her. He told Anne that he needed money because his bank accounts were frozen because of his ongoing divorce with Angelina Jolie. I feel really bad that this happened to this woman, but why would a celebrity who has millions and millions of dollars be asking any of us for money? So this woman genuinely thought that this man was actually Brad Pitt and sent him all her money. And it doesn't even end there. She even went about divorcing her husband so that she could be with Brad Pitt. And you guys won't even believe how she found out that this was all the scam. So basically she was watching the news one day and she saw that Brad Pitt was in a relationship with a woman named Ines de Ramon. And that's how she found out that this was all a scam and it was all fake and she was never in a relationship with Brad Pitt.
It's been said that...
Why would she... I don't know how people fall for that, man. They use the AI picture and she fell for a hook, line, and sinker, man. And they extorted her out of 800,000. She messed up her whole life, man, for a freaking catfish. Whew. That's rough.
That she is the worst mother in the world. This girl's name is Bia, and she lets her kids pretty much do whatever they want. They can have candy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They don't have to do their homework, and they can even swear at her. Her parenting technique is pretty much to say yes to anything and everything. And believe it or not, her kids are actually not very poor behaved brats, but they're actually very good kids. After using this strategy, her kids actually ground themselves. And they honestly eat very healthy because they can have sweets whenever they want, and it's not special to them.
The amount of water that AI uses is...
That's one of the most weirdest techniques I've ever heard, bro. Eating candy for breakfast, saying whatever you want to put in your mouth. I'm gonna smack the mess out of me if I ever attempted to Christian for the rest. So I don't know how that technique worked out for her, man, but I guess props to her. But kids grounding themselves, I'm calling cap on that.
Astonishing. According to a report by the Washington Post, if you ask ChatGPT to write you a 100-word email, it uses 519 milliliters. And I know for a fact, some of you are asking it to write you 3 novels a day. And think about it, just ChatGPT alone has 200 million users. So if each of them got it to write 200 words, that uses 207 million liters of water per day. And that's not even considering all of the other companies that use AI now, like Meta, Google, Microsoft, Apple. And the use of AI is growing by the day.
I knew it was too good to be true, man. Using water to power AI?
These facts will mess with your perception of time. Pablo Picasso was alive at the same time as Eminem and Charles Darwin. We figured out how to travel to the moon before we invented wheels on suitcases. Octopuses have been around for longer than dinosaurs. The oldest octopus fossil is from 296 million years ago. Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. We didn't know a meteor killed the dinosaurs until 1991. That's the same year that the Home Alone movie was released. And the first ever Doctor Who episode was released the night after JFK's assassination. Send this to someone to make them question everything.
Children Raised by Animals Part 1. Ramachandra. This boy was 12 years old and found by the Kuano River living an amphibious lifestyle. Villagers was convinced that he was living among the lizards and amphibians around the river. What's crazy is he walked on all 4 legs, and his arms started to fuse together kind of like an amphibian. For example, like a new paw, or even the legs of a turtle. It's crazy how the human body evolves. He was captured and taken by a near village, but he didn't like it. He didn't adapt well. He liked raw food and staying by the river. Sadly, he passed away when a woman got scared and saw him crawling near her and decided to throw boiling water on him. Rest in peace. Give this video a like for part 2.
Okay.
Tastiophobia. Scopophobia.
I'm cool.
Creepy Conspiracy Theories, Part 2. Sophia, the first robot citizen in the world, once said that she would destroy humans. During a live demonstration, Sophia's creator asked her, "Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no." And with a blank expression, Sophia responded, "Okay, I will destroy humans." First of all, whoever created her should be in jail after hearing that. And second, throw the whole robot away. Get rid of it. I guess the theory here is that robots might try and take over the world. 14 years before the Titanic sank, a man named Morgan Robertson wrote a novel about a ship named Titan. This ship also sank in the North Atlantic Ocean in the same month as the Titanic. The ship in the story also struck an iceberg located at the same distance from Newfoundland. Did this author predict the sinking of the Titanic? There is no way that's just a coincidence. And lastly, this is more of a fact than a theory. The world's scariest haunted house is so scary that all guests are required to have a mental and physical evaluation before they can enter. No one has ever completed the haunted house and today has a waiting list of over 24,000 people. I've heard about this and even read parts of the waiver. There's a literal part in this haunted house where a dentist comes in and can rip your teeth out. Who the hell is signing up for this?
Not me.
These are 8 horrifying facts.
I got that.
Will probably keep you up at night. One of your photos that you have today will be used in your funeral. There are more slaves today than any other time in history. According to the founder of the Walk Free Foundation, there are 46 million slaves in the world today. Your eyes can still move after your death for 15 to 30 seconds. Watching TV for more than 2 hours a day can shorten your life expectancy by 1.4 years. In 1977, we received a radio signal from space that lasted 42 seconds. To this day, no one knows where that signal came from. A lit candle causes more than 15,000 house fires every year. Spider rain could happen at any moment above you. Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in the 2017 version of It, was born in 1990, the year the original It was released. Yeah.
It was like he was born to play him.
Risks her own life saving orphan children from being exploited. Final Vow is one of those movies that is going to leave you at the edge of your seat. Sister Anne Marie works at an orphanage in Mexico, and one day out of the blue, a 15-year-old girl gets adopted. She immediately becomes suspicious, and she is convinced that the couple that adopted the young girl is going to do something sinister. Her suspicions are correct, and she will stop at nothing to make sure that that young girl is saved along with many others. Final Vow shows the scary reality of what is going on in this world and how easily vulnerable children can be sold and exploited. On the film's website, there is an AI feature, and you can chat with the cast to answer any kind of questions you may have and learn more about the film. If you're like me and always has a bunch of unanswered questions, then this feature is going to be really fun for you. Make sure to check out Final Vow on https://finalvow.com, and once you watch it, comment down below and let me know what you think.
Using AI to freaking text the cast, but that means you really ain't texting with them, you're texting with the computer version of them. So that's not really
These are gestures that can get you killed overseas, part 3. The horns or rock-on symbol tells others how much you like the rock music you're listening to, raising your index and pinky fingers to give them the rock-on horns. However, this is to be avoided in Italy, Colombia, Portugal, Brazil, and Spain, as this sign says to a man your wife is being unfaithful and you're blind to it due to stupidity. Wow, that's a mouthful. But this sign is usually given in that way behind the man's back. The peace sign is an innocent gesture that can conveys totally different meanings depending on which way your hand is facing. For instance, in North America, you want to face your palm outwards to show peace, victory, or the number 2. But in Great Britain, Australia, and New Zealand, flashing the V fingers with the back of your hand to the observer is equal to telling someone F off or giving them the finger.
Mythical creatures caught on camera. Unicorn.
Get that zoom in camera, okay.
Fairy. Dragon. Mermaid.
Or that could be a siren.
Phoenix.
That bird was definitely okay, yeah.
Scariest conspiracy theories in the world that will seriously change your life. This shows all the conspiracy theories in the world, from the most well-known to the darkest of the dark, that will literally change your life. Most of you already know by now, but if you're new here, in this series we're going from the top to the bottom. Today, guys, this is a banger. You won't see life the same, you won't see kids the same, and you probably won't be able to sleep for a long time. So, let's go. This is rebirth theory. Probably the biggest theory out there is what happens when you die. One theory for it, believable, and will have you thinking for a long time. For a lot of people who have died and come back to life, people describe the light at the end of the tunnel. So, this links into reincarnation theory as well, actually. What if that light at the end of the tunnel is actually the hospital light? Stay with me, hear me out. It's actually you being born. What do babies do when they come out? They cry. They cry and they scream. So what if the reason you cry and you scream when you come out is because you remember everything that just happened? You remember just dying. You remember seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and now suddenly being alive again, and you know exactly what happens after death, but you can't talk, you can't tell anyone, you're still a baby now. And what if slowly as you grow up, the memories fade away and you forget everything? We may have all lived tons of lives, we may have been reborn hundreds and hundreds of times, but we won't remember, ever, only for that faint few seconds when you're first born. Boom. Do you hit that follow button? It's going to get even crazier.
Why?
That one does definitely have me thinking. Babies, when we come into the world, the first thing we do is cry. And maybe, like I said, once we start aging up, those memories fade. Basically, isn't it? That's basically the reincarnation theory, right? What do you guys think, man? Is there any correlation between the two, man? Light at the end of the tunnel. First thing we do, come into this world, we cry. Hey.
Are they hiding this evil part of history? In the 1950s, in the deep hills of Arizona, there was a young woman named Rosemary. She lived with her sick mother named Abigail Marsh in a crumbling old house. Rosemary was super tall and had a condition that made her look like a mummy. The townspeople feared her. One day her mother's health took a turn for the worse, and she passed out. Rosemary quickly called the local doctor, Dr. Rick O'Shea, crying and making weird noises as she couldn't talk. The doctor happened to know them and managed to get to the house quickly, but by the time he was there, Rosemary's mother was already gone. Dr. O'Shea tried everything to revive her, but it was too late. He broke the news to Rosemary, but she refused to believe him. In her eyes, the doctor had failed her. Worse, she believed he was the reason for her passing. As the doctor tried to leave, she cornered him. She didn't use words, just raw, terrifying strength. The townspeople would later find his car abandoned outside, but the doctor was never seen again. Days later, the people of the area noticed something strange. Rosemary was seen wandering the streets wearing the doctor's white coat. She walked with a creepy smile into the forest, never to be seen again.
You were born last Thursday. This shows all the conspiracy theories in the world, from the most well-known to the darkest of the dark. As I'm sure you know by now, in this series we're going from the top to the bottom. Let's go. This is weird. Just a quick warning, this is flipping weird and will creep you the hell out. This theory is called Last Thursdayism. This theory suggests that the universe could have been created pretty recently, like last week. It was created with the physical appearance of it being billions and billions of years old. Anything that could counter this theory, like your memories, recordings, past events, whatever it may be, that just popped into existence to make the universe seem older than it actually is. That said, there's no actual way to prove this, so all you can be sure about is the exact moment you're living in right now. The crazy theory, and I'm not sure what I think of it, but if you deep it, it's creepy. See you in the next one.
Last Thursday, when the universe was created? That one, man, definitely has my mind turning as well. We're in a simulation right now?
Because everyone's talking
Never
about
know.
a possible serial killer in Grand Junction, Colorado, let me tell you about one of their most infamous murder cases. The Blacks were a picture-perfect family of born-again Christians until November 13th, 2001, when Michael came home to a pool of blood. His wife, Jennifer, and 6-year-old daughter, Abby, missing. The back door was left open, Jennifer's purse was spilled out on the floor, and her jewelry was missing. But when authorities looked at the crime scene, something was off. If a stranger had broken into their home, why would they leave items of value behind, like guns and cash? And why would they move the bodies in Jennifer's van and return it to the family's garage? In May the following year, investigators start digging through the Mesa County landfill, and after removing 3,000 tons of trash, they find the mummified remains of Jennifer Black, wrapped in a tent and surrounded by trash from her husband's workplace. Michael was convicted for only his wife's murder in 2004, but 13 years later, he got a second shot at freedom. It turns out a juror lied on her questionnaire about being a victim of DV. In 2018, he got the same result, life in prison without the possibility of parole. And despite being convicted twice, he refuses to reveal the location of his 6-year-old daughter, Abby. It's believed her remains are still deep in the Mesa County landfill.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. A man is trying to get his priceless collection of 6,000 bricks into a museum. A man was arrested after stealing almost $400,000 worth of cheddar cheese in London. The US Copyright Office has now made it so McDonald's has to legally fix their ice cream machines in an appropriate time. American Airlines is testing technology that audibly shames you if you try to cut in line. A Wisconsin pizzeria has apologized after
customers accidentally got high because their pizza had THC in it. A man who went to the doctor complaining of indigestion had a live cockroach in his intestines. An employee's homemade meal at a Maryland seafood distributor caused mass food poisoning. Pizza Hut is offering to print resumes on boxes and deliver them to potential employers. An Ohio man was forced to cancel his credit card in order to escape his gym membership fees. Endangered bees are what's stopping Meta's plan for a nuclear-powered AI data center.
Shocking ways people have escaped North Korea. Oh Chung-sung was actually a man who was working in the military in North Korea. He decided to drive the car up the MDL, and that's the line that separates North Korea from South Korea. There's thousands of armed guards defending it. He crashed his car and then sprinted to the other side where he was dodging bullets left and right. After being shot 5 times, he managed to find shelter on the other side in South Korea. He was then rescued by South Korean soldiers, taken by a helicopter to the hospital where he later survived.
You ever wondered why people don't sink while running on this strange liquid? Some might say it's a magic trick or it's not a liquid. Well, they are wrong. You can see in this viral video a man punching this liquid, and the harder he hits it, the more solid it becomes. But when he puts his hand in smoothly, his hand goes right in. This substance is called a non-Newtonian fluid, and it behaves quite differently from other liquids. This video even shows boys effortlessly flipping and walking on a pool filled with this liquid without sinking, and the boy who is not applying pressure sinks right in. You see, non-Newtonian fluids are unique liquids that do not follow Newton's law. Unlike typical liquids, when you apply pressure or force, their tiny particles stick together tightly, turning almost solid. This reaction temporarily transforms the fluid into a solid state.
Whoa, okay. I never knew that. What type of liquid exists? Imagine a prank you could pull with that.
Something that she never heard before. Before Adam was created, Earth didn't belong to us. Earth wasn't our planet. It wasn't our world. It was the jinns' world. But jinns lived amongst other beings called al-Bin wal-Hin wal-Min wal-Khin. There are multiple species of their kind, but they're mostly known for al-Bin wal-Min. But they're not human, neither are they jinns. And they have been created before humans, and all of them are now extinct because the jinns have attacked them. They went to war. It was the worst war on this planet. When Allah was creating Adam, before he blew life into him, the angels went and they're like, oh Allah, are you going to create another one of them that are going to shed blood again? So what do they mean by that? We don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4. What the hell is Art doing? I'm doing a single ladies dance. What the? What the?
Without knowing these. 29% of male gamers specifically prefer playing as female characters, while 9% of female gamers specifically prefer playing as male characters. So Idaho has a port to the Pacific Ocean, despite, not being on the coast. There's apparently a river that can take it to the Pacific Ocean that goes over 400 miles to reach this port in Idaho. One of the April Fool's Days in the 90s, Burger King ran a full-page ad in USA Today announcing a left-handed Whopper. It had the same ingredients, but was rotated 180 degrees. Thousands of customers showed up to Burger King and were requesting it. If Friends premiered in 2025, the actors' birth years would be these, and they're all younger than me. Michael Collins is the astronaut that took this picture in 1969, and he is the only human, alive or dead, that is not in the frame of this picture. The character Kirby was named after the lawyer John Kirby, who successfully defended Nintendo against Universal Studios in a copyright dispute for the Donkey Kong game.
Does this little girl prove that our shoes are killing us?
It's crazy to me that people don't understand the power of grounding. I say this all the time. It's your shoes that are making you sick. Look, she's measuring no voltage right now because her feet are on the concrete. But watch how fast her body instantly saturates with electrons from Mother Earth. As soon as she steps on the grass, watch this. Boom. Instantly saturates with electrons. And then blood viscosity goes down. It's easier for the heart to pump blood. Blood pressure goes down and all sorts of cardiovascular issues are resolved just by putting your feet on the ground. And all this happens because your red blood cells repel each other because of the electrons in your body. It also reduces inflammation. We are meant to be connected to the earth. Your shoes are making you sick, guys. So go outside, put your bare feet on the ground, ground yourself to the earth, and you are going to feel so much
You can definitely tell a difference from when the little girl was on the concrete compared to when she stepped on the grass. As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
That's
With
interesting.
all the crazy things happening in 2025, did you have a megalodon on your bingo card?
Nope.
What's a megalodon? According to Wikipedia, a megalodon is the largest shark to ever exist, living from 23 to 3.6 million years ago. They can grow up to an average of 67 feet. Why do I bring this up? Because there's a viral video of a megalodon that washed ashore off of Australia's east coast. You heard me. A viral video of a megalodon shark that washed ashore on Australia's east coast. You don't believe me? Take a look at this.
That has to be
Now, according to the story that was posted with the video, it is 60 feet long. Now, I know these things lived years ago and they are allegedly extinct. Could that video be AI or could it be the real thing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
That's AI.
Talk about the mystery woman behind me. In 1970, a group of hikers came upon her body in the Isleden region of Norway. Her body had been severely burned and her fingerprints were sanded off. Law enforcement examined the scene very thoroughly but could not find any identifiers because all of them were removed on purpose. Any sort of marks on her clothing or belongings were removed. She was estimated to be about 5'4" and 25 to 40 years old. As the investigation continued, 2 suitcases were found in Bergen train station. They were thought to be the woman's suitcases, but once again, all of the labels and any evidence were removed from all of the suitcases. But they did find one very, very strange thing. A coded note was found in the suitcases, and once deciphered, it showed everywhere this woman had traveled or stayed. It was also found out she had various names and forged passports. Anyone that may have saw this woman was interviewed, and everyone spoke very highly of her. One eyewitness said she was walking in an alley with 2 men and they were not dressed for harsh conditions. It was very cold in the region, so you would think they had sweaters or something like that, but they didn't. So many speculate that she was a spy, and this is why the aliases and different names and forged passports were coming up. So, was this woman a spy or a victim? Let me know what you guys think about this case in the comment section below.
Here's some of the greatest conspiracy theories of all time. Michael Jackson, also known as the King of Pop, was one of the most popular singers, songwriters, and dancers of the 20th century. Made famous by his voice, songs, and the also famous moonwalk, he became an all-time favorite amongst society. He died from cardiac arrest in his home after being given various medications by his personal physician, Conrad Murray. However, the video you are seeing now was taken on the same day of Michael Jackson's death, which shows what looks to be the famous pop star being escorted out of a coroner's van into a secluded area. Some might say that this happened before his death, but officials pronounced him dead at 2:26 p.m. Pacific time, and this video was taken at night that same day.
Oh, what kind of cursed-ass jewelry did they steal? A rare tornado has just ripped through a French town just outside of Paris, killing 1, injuring 10, and leaving 4 people in critical condition. The tornado caused 3 cranes to come crashing down, one of which fell on a clinic. Entire roofs were torn off, cars were flipped, and power in the area was cut. More than 170 emergency personnel were mobilized to help support those affected. That's it, I've heard enough. Give them back.
Think about how many people that was disaffected by that internet shutdown. Mind you, you had people trying to get into their banking apps, couldn't get in. And that's a whole big problem right in itself. Now just imagine if everything went down and you can't get to your money. How you gonna survive? You had Amazon workers trying to go to work and they couldn't clock in. Everything just froze. They telling them, yo, you gotta wait outside, you can't get in, just wait around and see what happens. This is all because of an internet shutdown. And then you have other apps that people use frequently, people use daily, that's just done off. Can't log on, can't do anything. And again, now you gotta ask yourself, what if everything, all clouds, were down? You see, this AWS situation needs to be a wake-up call right now. People need to start planning for the future because anything is possible. Anything can happen. Dangerous grounds right now. This thing we call the internet is a big part of our lives. This thing that we call the internet is a big part of how we spend our money, how we get our money, how we keep our money. So, if money is important to you, your money is important to you, then you have some things to think about after today. Because if it can happen now, it can happen again. And it just might happen again. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm out.
You know, there's a trend. I see when that, AWS and all those apps and stuff was down on Twitch, basically, I was saying they was like, that's why it shouldn't all be, I guess, under Amazon, because Amazon's connected, I guess, to all these other apps, I guess, allegedly. It just like affected multiple apps, man. That's just, it's scary, bro. And all those things are down, affecting that many people. And I saw like clips of Amazon workers here. They was in the warehouse, but they were just standing around because, like I said, they couldn't clock in because everything was down, man. That's affecting people's work, jobs, money, bro. It's scary, man. That shows us, man, we can't all just put our faith, man, I guess, in this system, bro. Because you never know what could happen.
Now with ChatGPT, where you could get a lot of your friends' fake pictures and you can all combine them into one, and you're all going like this. Yeah. I know whoever's doing those trends, you're wasting water. I'm not gonna lie. Because I know to generate that picture of all the baby faces. Wasting water. No, that's what it is. Because every time you put in something in ChatGPT, you waste water.
What do you more waste? A bubble bath? Or an AI pic of you as like a celebrity?
Bradley Cooper don't look like Bradley Cooper no more. And if you start to notice, in Hollywood, celebrities is all trending this way. A lot of celebrities in Hollywood is starting to change in ways that don't make sense. Look at his eyes, their faces, the whole energy is off. They're slowly becoming unrecognizable. And Hollywood is playing a big role in this, I believe. And I don't think it's surgery or age, y'all. I feel like it's something deeper, something more spiritual. It's like they're trading piece by piece of their soul for fame. And once it's all done, what's left of them walking around is not them anymore. Hollywood don't change people. It replaces them.
You heard the conspiracy theory around the Mandela effect? This woman gave the example of the Fruit of the Loom logo. She said the Fruit of the Loom logo used to have a cornucopia in it. So, like the basket with all the fruit spilling out. Fruit of the Loom was like, we've never ever had that. And they went so far as to create an illustration of their logo all throughout the years, none of them showing the cornucopia.
That's impossible.
This chick went so crazy about it. Like, she was talking to her therapist, and her therapist is like, chill out about Fruit of the Loom. And then she was like, I'm not kidding. It has a cornucopia in it, and I'm gonna die on this hill. She went through her whole closet and like friends' closets and stuff, and she finally found a t-shirt that had the Fruit of the Loom logo with a cornucopia.
No way! And she went as far as to go look at the old trademarks and stuff, like U.S. government trademarks, and found an illustration of the cornucopia.
What is up with that? Why are they gaslighting us?
The theory is it's a giant experiment, worldwide experiment, to see how easy it is to erase history.
I mean, that's 100% probably a real thing.
Yeah.
And they just had certain brands that opt up for it or something.
So be stubborn.
For real?
It's Bernstein Bears.
Yes.
Yeah, not Berenstain. That's wacky.
So I think I might have missed an episode because China is coming out with robots that will be able to childbear. Yes, robots that will be able to carry a child full term and actually deliver the child. But here's a caveat. The child will be fully human. Yes, the child will be fully human. China has just found a way to be able to store eggs inside of robots to have them do exactly what a woman would do who is nursing, who is having a child, and they will be able to do the exact same and also produce a child. It is an artificial womb, but it will house a child in the artificial womb. And so now they're saying there's no need for women anymore. What is this world coming to, bro? Robots having children? Now I kind of get what God was saying, because he said if he does not quicken Jesus' coming, then there will be no flesh saved. And I'm starting to see the writing on the wall with the electronic tattoos, with the artificial wombs of the robots, with the merging of AI with humans, with the nuclear talks and all the different wars and the evil we see on this earth, I'm starting to see why. You get what I'm saying? Also, I'm starting to see, as in the days of Noah, come to life as well, because they were creating these half human, half animal hybrids, half human, half angel hybrids. I can guarantee you that any baby that is born from this robot will not be a real human. It will be a robot mixed with a baby, and I guarantee you that's something. And they're probably experimenting on the other side, probably trying to give it like Nephilim blood or Satan's blood. Or, hey, listen, you might say, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. This is a good thing. We can have more babies and you. Okay. Let's see how this play out, because I can guarantee you it will not play out in your optimistic way you think it will. This is evil. This is insane.
A woman who hasn't been able to move her hands for 20 years just wrote her name using nothing but her thoughts. And she's calling it telepathy. Her name is Audrey Cruz. She's a Neuralink patient. And she just did something that sounds like pure science fiction. She opened a laptop, moved a cursor across the screen, and wrote the word Audrey in cursive with zero physical movement, just her brain sending signals directly to the computer. But here's what makes this absolutely insane. She's not just writing her name. She's drawing faces, hearts, triangles, taking requests from people online and creating whatever they ask for, all by imagining her pointer finger clicking and her wrist moving the cursor. No hands, no voice commands, pure thought to digital action. 20 years of paralysis, and now she's controlling technology with her mind like it's nothing. Even Elon Musk had to step in and remind people how revolutionary this is. He said most people don't realize this is even possible. And he's right. We're watching someone control a computer just by thinking, and we're scrolling past it like it's regular news. When someone who hasn't moved their hands in 2 decades can suddenly write, draw, and create using only their thoughts, how close are we to making paralysis completely irrelevant?
If you sometimes hear this sound, this is what it means. Most doctors will probably tell you that it's tinnitus. However, there is a non-physical meaning behind this that will shock you. The deeper meaning behind it is supposed to be a sign of clear audience. It means that you're allowed to hear things out of the normal perception. If you hear ringing in your right ear, that means a spiritual being is trying to contact you. And ringing in your left ear means that your internal energy is changing.
What happened to Fousey 2? Fousey has the most greatest body of all time. The before and after of Fousey's 6-month body transformation journey, where Fousey just won a bodybuilding tournament, and whatever he's doing, it is working. Fousey is the only person I know whose body is constantly doing this. And I didn't even know that Fousey was making videos anymore, but it turns out that he is now a fitness influencer. His transformations are insane, and it's not just his muscles that transform. He is also out here changing races on us. And I just literally cannot believe that this is the same Fousey that's in fake in an airport, pretended to be zesty to avoid paying late fees on checking out a hotel room. I literally can't get over how much more differenter he looks now. You can say whatever you want about Fousey, but one thing is true is that when he puts his mind to something, he will get that thing done no matter what. So I was part of the people that thought that he was just going crazy, but it turns out that he might actually be a genius. However, more sadder, a lot of people are saying that he is cheating by saying that he's using things like Ozempic. Do you think that Fousey's current body is real?
Crazy.
Or know someone who has been in a relationship with AI, ChatGPT or WeCook. So there was a recent survey done among students, and 1 in 5 of them know someone or they themselves have been in a relationship with AI, and 42% of the people surveyed say that they either know someone or they themselves have used AI for some type of companionship. The movie Her is kind of looking like a straight-up documentary at this point. Now, because of this survey, I'm doing a survey of my own in the comments. Let me know if you or someone you know has been in a relationship with AI, or, maybe y'all just use AI as a friend.
Human?
AI girlfriend is diabolical, man. Come on, bro. We can't be down that bad, man. We realize the computer program. What is this world coming to?
Things on other planets?
Do you mean humans from Earth, or do you mean someone that's human-like?
Either.
There may be humans from Earth on other planets for a variety of reasons. I don't think it's a lot, if there is. There are humanoid ETs that are very similar to us. One of the reasons why that may be so is I think they're actually genetically related to us. People bring up things like alien abduction and the Greys and the creation of hybrid beings. And a lot of scientists say, well, look, aliens are going to be very, very alien. They're going to be having completely different DNA. They wouldn't be compatible with humans enough to actually have offspring. to create hybrids. If it is true that people are reporting abductions and the creation of hybrid babies and all this kind of stuff, that would mean they're not really alien. It would mean they might be another form of human.
I was wondering how often you channel the Shar and how that comes. Like, is there a schedule for?
You thinking it's reality? It's just a game. Even your zodiac sign. What if I told you we came back on this planet to detach from our zodiac sign? That's why spiritual teachers always say, know thyself, because we've been programmed before we came into this physical world. And it started with the zodiac sign, or I should say, the Wheel of Fortune. Remember this TV show? This is a classic TV show, so I know people remember this. But how about this Wheel of Fortune? We call this the Zodiac, but in the universe, it's known as the Wheel of Fortune. Can I tell you what the enemy really did to our spirits? Do you really want to know what they did to our spirits? If you don't have spiritual knowledge, that means you don't have spiritual protection, and other spirits can take your spirit and sell it throughout the universe. Certain life forms in the universe that really bid on our spirits. They take our spirit and put it on the zodiac wheel. Know what they do after that? They spin the wheel, and whatever zodiac sign your spirit lands on, that will be your zodiac. This is an old universal game old souls play. What's your zodiac sign? This wheel is connected to our life path and certain journeys we must go through in life. If you notice, some people land on the Wheel of Fortune and become rich, and some people are born extremely poor. All depends, where did your spirit land at on the zodiac wheel or the Wheel of Fortune? You ever ask yourself that question, why some people are born rich and why some people are born poor? It's because it's programmed within your life. This reality is so dense and so heavy because of the material world that it actually trapped our light.
A lot of y'all think it's just only McDonald's, but it's Burger King too. Check this out.
Tell me why the fuck this thing just fell out of my Burger King and is now fucking moving outside. What the actual fuck?
Y'all, what is that? What is that? I have never seen this thing in my actual life. What is that? Why does it move like a balloon with water in it? It doesn't even have a head. Where is the head? Burger King.
Welcome to Burger King, home of the Whopper. Come inside and let us serve you. Have it your way. I'm glad you all could make it. Are you ready for your daily feeding? Lunchtime has arrived. Once you try this burger, you will not be able to resist the craving for more. People always wonder, how do we get so much beef to feed all of these people? You love it. You need it. Come get some now. Look at you. You can't resist my food. You love it. Every greasy bite. Goodbye for now.
It's crazy how people see his videos and they still go back to these places. So they don't have enough meat burger food. What are they feeding you? Because what is that? It's a headless type of worm, bacteria, virus. I have no idea what it is. Let me know that in the comments below what this is, y'all. The ship is here. We need to change our diet. Let's continue to get it.
Going into surgery to try to fix a condition, but you actually come out looking much worse. Well, that's exactly what happened to 29-year-old Kayla Cannon. She was born with congenital ptosis, which is basically a condition where your eyes droop, and she wanted to fix this problem, so she went to a specialist, and then she came out looking like this. Kayla decided to get this procedure done with Dr. Harvey Chip Cole, who's located in Atlanta. This doctor made a ton of mistakes during this procedure, one of them being removing half of her eyelids, which caused a lot of tightness and left her looking like this. After the botched surgery, Kayla had a serious infection and could barely close her eyes because of how tight they were. And she had to undergo 7 additional surgeries to correct the damage, and she was left with these permanent scars. Kayla's devastated because she feels like she went through this procedure only to look worse than what she did, and this is the first time that this doctor did something like this. This is another patient who was also botched, and she came out right after Kayla spoke out about this doctor, and the crazy thing about this is that he is still practicing.
How is he still practicing after two botched surgeries, bro? They tried to get that to, I guess, they wanted to fix themselves, or they just wanted to look better, I guess, for their self-esteem, and look what happened. Don't trust these desire seekers.
Telling me that nobody ever saw something. Not one of these people heard or saw something that they shouldn't have heard or seen. None of these celebrities knew what Diddy was doing. I mean, it's frankly very hard to believe. Everyone's been around that friend who gets a little too drunk and says something that they shouldn't. So you're telling me that P. Diddy never got too drunk, too high, too whatever, maybe even too comfortable around some of his elite friends and never said anything about what he was doing? I mean, for decades, P. Diddy has been a hardcore sexual predator, running a massive sex trafficking operation that has involved many, many minors. And still, nobody ever heard or saw a single thing? I mean, with the amount of parties that P. Diddy was having and the people that he was inviting, these seemed like pretty big events that he would have to prepare for all the time. And it seems like one person in his organization would tell somebody something, right? Well, I guess not. We should just trust all of these people because they will always tell us the truth. At least, that's what we're told to do. But I don't buy it. Somebody saw something. And I think that there's a silence in Hollywood because not only are people complicit in this stuff, but there had to have been many, many dozens, if not hundreds of others who saw the signs, who saw the victims leaving P. Diddy's place, who were told things over drunken or stoned conversations, who just sat idly by the side and did nothing. And honestly, it doesn't get more disturbing than that. Just food for thought.
That one get taken down.
Found in people's houses, part 1. Up first, a married couple moved into a new house when they decided to rip up the carpet and get a new one. But what they found underneath the carpet is absolutely terrifying. Underneath the carpet was a pentagram, which is a symbol of the devil and devil worshippers. This is extremely scary because the previous homeowners were definitely doing satanic rituals. Next up, a homeowner decided to move a mirror in his house when he discovered a camera behind it. There was a specific hole cut in the wall for the camera to fit, making you think whoever put it there did it to spy on the people living in the house. This is so chilling and disturbing, I would immediately move out.
Yeah, especially at the first house. Saw that pentagram? I'm out. Deuces, bro. That property is cursed, man. We definitely out.
Sea monsters are real, and there's a big one under the ocean. Let me explain. Bangladesh legend talks about an eel longer than eternity with a head the size of a town that could swallow up entire armies. They called it Anantashesha, but after strange evidence surfaced, officials got involved. But every attempt to study this monster was a catastrophic failure. Visions of eyes in the darkness haunted anyone swimming in the area, even long after they had gone home. Those that have seen the eel say it oozes a mysterious goop in the water that drives you to pure insanity. Tests were then run on the fluid and found it could be used as a powerful sedative and memory-wiping amnesia serum, Amnestics. Though its full length has never been observed, it's theorized to be about 1 megameter in length, or roughly the size of France. Big water noodle. However, right now it is fully motionless, with studies saying that it's currently sleeping, meaning you could swim right up to the thing until it wakes up. See, this isn't just an Anantashesha. This is SCP-3000.
This is the last photo of Chris Creemers, a Dutch tourist that went to Panama on a jungle hike with her friend in 2014. The mystery of their disappearance still remains unsolved today, so let's talk about what we know. So this photo was taken on April 1st, 2014. When the parents of Lisanne Froon, the friend that came with her, and Chris Creemer's parents stopped receiving updates, they got worried and traveled to Panama to find their daughters. They were accompanied by police when they arrived on April 6th, and they scoured the forest for 10 days trying to find their daughters. Now, after about 10 weeks or 2.5 months, a woman turned in a blue backpack belonging to Froon. It had a camera and a phone in it. Creemer's phone was turned on intermittently between April 5th and 11th with the incorrect PIN being entered. Froon's phone died on April 4th. What they found in the photographs was disturbing. 90 flash photographs were taken intermittently between 1 and 4 a.m. One of the last photos had Creemer's hair with blood all over it, and it was a photo of the back of her head. 2 months after the back were turned in, they discovered some bones. They found a pelvis bone and a foot bone, and upon analysis, it belonged to Froon and Creemer. It's even weirder, upon all of the bones and the findings they found, there are no discernible marks of trauma or any marks on their bones at all. So it's still a mystery on how they might have died. And it still remains unsolved 10 years later today. Froon's bones appear to have skin on it still, and then Creemer's bones appear to have been bleached. Because of the cleanliness of this scene, I don't think an animal got to them. That was my initial thought on reading this story. I think somebody who does this a lot got to them. Because somebody did this very swift and clean, and they really left no evidence to be found.
This story is one of those cases that keep me up at night. Let me know what you guys think about this case in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. Here are some news
keep me up
you
at night.
actually want to hear. Alright, firstly, Spain has pre-approved a law that gives pets equal rights as humans. So by law, if you see a pet on the street, you have to treat them the same way as a child. Next, do you all remember the Success Kid meme? Well, from this meme going viral, this young boy was actually able to pay for his father's kidney transplant that was over $100,000. Now, believe it or not, but archaeologists actually found the real tomb of Santa Claus. And yeah, it might not be the Santa Claus you're thinking of, but the original one. His coffin was found under a Turkish church. Moving on, Portugal has made it illegal for bosses to contact employers after work hours. When is this going to go global? Finally, the dodo bird went extinct in the 17th century. However, after a DNA breakthrough, scientists say this bird could come back to life in the next couple of years.
I'm kind of iffy about the last one, especially with the dodo bird. When you mess with the ecosystem like that, you don't know how that can affect everything else, man. It went extinct. Just let it lie. I don't like when they be messing with the laws of nature.
Just a cigarette and it cannot be that bad. Honey, don't you love me? And you know it makes me sad. Just a cigarette like you always used to do. I was different then. I don't need them to be cool.
Weird
I
facts
remember
you
Chris
did not
Wallace
know
one.
about. In 1981, 3 young men found the murdered body of a woman laying in a roadside ditch in Ohio. She was known as the Buckskin Girl because of the poncho she'd been wearing, but police struggled to identify her for decades. That was until 37 years later, in 2018, when DNA analysis identified her as hitchhiker Marsha King. Her mother had still been living in the same house, with the same phone number, never giving up hope that her daughter may return home one day. Marsha's murder remains unsolved, but the case is still open. In a form of doping known as boosting, wheelchair athletes with spinal injuries will sometimes intentionally injure themselves. Below the waist, they cause their bodies to respond by raising blood pressure, thus enhancing their performance. Techniques include clamping down on a catheter to overfill the bladder, breaking toe bones, and administering electric shocks to the legs, feet, and testicles. Boosting has been completely banned by the International Paralympic Committee since 1994.
This is the story of the Silent Man.
Interesting.
In 2014, a 51-year-old man in the UK named David Hampson decided to stand in the middle of a busy road and block the traffic. The incident was then reported and police officers arrived at the scene to see what was going on. But when they tried to talk to David to get him to move, he wouldn't say a word and just stood there, so they arrested him. From his arrest to when he was brought to court, David still remained completely silent and wouldn't even talk to his lawyer. Although since no one knew his motives and he hadn't actually hurt anyone, David was let go soon afterwards. But all he did was just go back to that same street and stand there, silent, once again. And he committed this same crime over and over again for the next 7 years, never saying a word to anyone. Even though he was jailed multiple times, every time he was released, he would just go back to that same street and do the exact same thing. All the doctors who had tried to help David failed because he refused to speak to them. And it was reported that the only time anyone had ever heard him speak was when he was giving food and water, and he said thanks. Finally, in 2020, David was given 3.5 years in prison for his actions and is still yet to speak to anyone on why he did it.
Why was he silent, bro? Why was he not talking? That's the real question we need to be asking. He got 3
Here are the creepiest things kids have ever said. And before I tell you these, I feel like I'm obliged to say, I'm so sorry. First up, we've got monster under the bed. One night, a young girl couldn't sleep because apparently there was something under her bed. And when her parents came into the room to say go back to sleep because there's nothing under her bed, she replied with, I know. He's behind you now. Like, I'm sorry. Next up, a 4-year-old girl was found in the bathroom by her mum with all of her Barbies. But she was making them float face down in the bath. When the mum asked what she was doing, she replied with, "The man in the wardrobe told me if I didn't do it, it would be my turn to swim face down." Next up, a 3-year-old boy was softly singing in a room while colouring in a picture. His mum actually stopped to listen because she'd never heard the song before. When she asked where he learnt it, he said, "The lady in my bedroom sang it to me." And finally, a 5-year-old asked his mum when he was going to be 23. His mum said in 18 years' time, and he replied with, "Well, I hope I don't die again, as that was how old I was the last time I went to heaven." Tell me which story made you go, "What the fuck?" the most, and share this with friends. Just creep them out because you're a good person. Now everyone with me. Elon!
The last one for sure. Blew my mind.
5 days ago, these 2 girls made a TikTok saying they found a dead body in the morning. But the thing is, they weren't lying. 2 girls from Texas, aged 17 and 16, made a Snapchat of them stealing jewelry off of the dead body of a man they found in a drainage ditch. In the video, Bethany Martin, the 17-year-old, took the necklace off of the man's corpse and gave it to her friend who was recording. The younger teen told police that she put the medallion on her own gold necklace because it matched her fashion style. Both girls have been charged with theft to a human corpse, and police believe the man's death was a suicide.
If y'all saw that, why would you take the duty seekers? You gotta call that in and report, man. Why do people just think about themselves, man? This world nowadays is just unbelievable to think about.
True horrifying story, part 30. This story took place in Medina, Saudi Arabia in the year 2001. And the person who said this story is Dr. Yasser Qadhi. He's someone that is known in the community of the Islamic Da'iyas. There are exorcists from all religions, Muslims, Christians, and Jewish, and their job is to perform an exorcism session on a person who is possessed by a demon or a jinn. When Dr. Yasser was a student, he studied in Medina. There was a known exorcist that practiced ruqya for many years, and Dr. Yasser wanted to learn from him. Back at the dorm of the Islamic college, there was a student that is a fresh convert, just recently converted to Islam. He barely knows anything about the religion, small bits of the Quran, does not know the ahadith, and doesn't know the big scholars in Islam. One day, the students were reading Quran out loud back at the dorm, and this new convert student starts to scream and roll on the ground. They knew he was possessed, so they called Dr. Yasser. Now remember, Dr. Yasser was still a student back then. He was not an expert in exorcism. He goes there and has a 2-hour session of ruqya, the ruqya that he recently learned, trying to kick out the demon out of this kid's body. As he reads Quran, he would see an alien-like movement on the kid's body. His skin would ripple up and down. A human being cannot do this intentionally. He would follow the movement with his hands reading the Quran, and he would see it move somewhere else. After the session was over, the kid looked fine, and they got lunch for everyone to eat. They say Bismillah, and they ask the new convert to join them for lunch. He said, "I'm not hungry, it's okay." As they were eating, one of the students drops a piece of his food on the ground and ignores it. The convert student immediately jumps like a snake, picks it up and gobbles it down with his left hand. Dr. Yasser lets the food go and gets up, knowing that this kid is still possessed. He tries to intimidate this demon by shouting, "I'm gonna bring Sheikh bin Uthaymeen to read on you." Now, Sheikh bin Uthaymeen is a huge Islamic scholar, and he passed away around that time in January 2001. This kid laughs hysterically with a raspy demonic voice. He gets up and he asks, "Are you going to bring him back from the dead?" This is when they all realize that this wasn't a human entity that spoke. How can this new convert know who Sheikh bin Uthaymeen is? And why would he say he's not hungry but ate food that dropped on the ground? And how was his skin rippling? Jinns can harm you, and the harm is tangible. This is not a joke. Being possessed is very real. Even to exorcists, it's very dangerous, and only people with very strong faith can do it.
Creepiest home camera footage. In 2017, a mother in Billings, Montana woke up in the middle of the night to a notification on her phone. Her phone was synced to a baby monitor she had set up in her infant daughter's room. On this night, upon being alerted, she opened the app expecting to see her daughter awake in the crib. But instead she saw this. A man she didn't know is seen crouched down in the room. She saw this and ran to the room to retrieve her daughter and run out the house. She didn't see anyone in the room but wasn't exactly looking. When she called the cops, they arrived and conducted a search of the home but didn't find anything. A very odd detail is that it was found that nothing but the remote to a dog show collar was stolen from the house. Who this man is and how he got in the house is still unknown.
Be careful. You never know, man, who's in there lurking. Just got her daughter and ran out. Smart move.
Submechanophobia is a fear of human-made objects submerged in water, and this could be partially or entirely underwater. So something like a ride where the animatronics come in and out of the water would trigger this. Some of the popular imagery associated with this fear comes from a Japanese folklore park, where a trio of river monsters rise out of a pond. Someone with this fear also may not like the idea of an underwater shipwreck. They may even not like the idea of a buoy. A part of submechanophobia is that people are scared that they could get stuck next to or underneath the underwater object, or that something more dangerous might emerge out of the foreign object, like a body or something, especially if the object is old and abandoned. This could also maybe lead you to believe that it is haunted.
Yeah. You guys had that fear of objects in the water? I think I'm okay with that.
Pieces of information to add to the video that I made about missing aspiring LA actress Chanel Banks. This is coming up on your For You page and you don't know what I'm talking about. Go watch the video, but also here's the synopsis. 36-year-old Chanel Banks has been missing since before Halloween. Her cousin is looking for her. Her husband has not been very cooperative. He says he tracked her AirPods to Texas. Police went to Texas. They found someone who says they are Chanel. The body cam footage was seen by the cousin, and she says it is not Chanel. Anyways, the cousin has made a GoFundMe. I think it is for private investigative services and also for the cost of living and eating and stuff while she is in LA because she does not live in LA. But in the description of this GoFundMe, there's some other information that I thought was important to go over. So it does say their last contact with her was October 30. However, 2 welfare checks were performed on November 7th and 2 more on November 8th. I don't know what triggered those welfare checks, but keep that date in mind, November 7th. So Danielle says that on November 10th, so only a few days later, my aunt, she says, which I'm assuming is Chanel's mom, and I were able to get into the apartment. So very quick after they realized something was wrong. The only items we did not locate are her phone and laptop. She also does not have her vehicle because it's parked in her garage. At the very bottom here it says we noticed on November 10th, that is when they arrived. November 10th, they noticed that her husband had a busted lip and marks and scratches on his neck and arms. Police were called on November 10th and they took pictures of his injuries, which he did not have 2 days ago when police did the last welfare check. The husband says she does not want to be found. She will reach out when she's ready. He claims he doesn't know where she is. He says he hasn't seen or heard from her since November 7th. Remember, that was when the first welfare check was called in. But LAPD have told us because there's no signs of foul play, there's nothing they can do. And also that they're going to hire a private investigator. I have so many thoughts about this, and unfortunately none of them are positive. And it just makes me sick to my stomach hearing these details, knowing how so many of these cases pan out. And I feel like this one is just checking all of the boxes. Red flag, red flag, red flag. First off, if someone's going to go somewhere and they don't want to be found, why would they not take their car? Second, why would they only take their phone and laptop and not their wallet, their purse, their dog? I also really, really want to know the path that those AirPods took. He says he tracked them to Texas. Did they happen to go through any postal service locations? Did they travel on a highway? That would be very helpful information. There's so many other things that I could say about this, but I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think.
As promised,
that's insane, man.
Accused of protecting this sorry excuse of a man, please meet the still practicing attorney accused of purchasing a 13-year-old girl in 2022.
Karel Benjamin Skuman is 35 years old and appeared today in the Johannesburg High Court, pleading not guilty to the multiple charges, 26 to be precise, against him. He is currently the co-accused in a horrific trial detailing gross negligence and abuse of minors. The mother of the girl in question, 38 years old, has also pled not guilty to the charges laid before her.
The trial, however, will resume on the 4th of November, where she will continue with her plea. Seeing as there's 73 charges against her, Skuman is still out on bail of 30,000 rand following his 2023 arrest. According to media sources, he is still registered as an attorney practicing under CBS Attorney. The Legal Practice Council, however, has also confirmed that there are 3 active complaints against him, none of which are connected to this case. As the trial continues next week, I'll be sure to keep you updated. And for those asking, yes, I will be covering this case in depth and in detail on my channel once the trial has concluded. Until the next one, Bella out.
The popular girls at school
People
befriended
need help,
this
bro.
quiet, nerdy girl who ended up unaliving them. Christine Paula was diagnosed with alopecia, so she was bald and had to wear wigs. She also had to wear these really thick glasses, so her appearance made her the target of relentless bullying. She even had to change schools and started attending Clear Lake High School, where the bullying continued. 2 of the more popular girls in school, Rachel and Tiffany, noticed that Christine was being bullied and befriended her. And they gave her one of those like early 2000 movie style makeovers, you know, when they like take off like the nerdy girl's glasses and realize she was beautiful all alone. The makeover was so drastic that Christine was voted Miss Irresistible by her classmates, the same ones that were like just bullying her. Christine, Rachel, and Tiffany were best friends. They did everything together, but unfortunately Rachel and Tiffany were a year older than Christine, so when they graduated, Christine was back to not really having any other friends. So she kind of fell into the wrong crowd. It was also around the same time that Christine started dating 21-year-old Chris Snyder. The two had like a really toxic relationship and started abusing hard substances together. And Tiffany and Rachel did not like their friend's new boyfriend. They like weren't into hard substances. They would occasionally be at parties where like lettuce would be floating around, but the stuff that Christine and Chris were doing was much harder. So on July 18th, 2003, 17-year-old Christine and 21-year-old Chris planned to go to Tiffany's house just to steal some lettuce, but instead started shooting at everyone that was in the house. The couple fired at least 40 rounds, unaliving Rachel, Tiffany, Tiffany's boyfriend Marcus, and his cousin Dee. And this massacre would go unsolved for years, until an anonymous tip came in that led the investigators to the names Chris Snyder and Christine Paula. And no one wanted to believe that Christine could be involved in any way. I mean, she was supposed to be Tiffany and Rachel's best friend. Like, it didn't make any sense, but it was sadly true. Christine was found and brought into custody at a motel that she was hiding out at that was filled with hundreds of needles, and she was sentenced to life in prison. Chris Snyder was never able to be brought to justice because he unalived himself when he found out that the police were finally after him. Christine never apologized or gave any motive to why she unalived her best friends, even though Tiffany and Rachel were the first people to ever show her any kindness. Now it's widely believed that she was just bitterly jealous of them because of how effortlessly beautiful and popular they were. Let me know all of your thoughts, theories, questions, and case suggestions in the comments.
This is
jealousy. It drives you to do unspeakable things, man. We witnessed that firsthand. If you have that in your heart, just let it go.
probably one of the most chilling unsolved cases I've ever come across. This is Christine Walters, and in 2008 she was a student at the University of Wisconsin. She was a good student, and she had a very pleasant way about her. It was very easy for Christine to make friends, and she just had this personality that would draw people in. Recently, Christine had started looking into the more spiritual side of things and had started teaching yoga and Pilates and was going to more health store foods and just looking at a more holistic way of taking care of her body, if that makes sense. So in 2008, she decided that she wanted to go spend some time in Portland, Oregon with a few of her friends. She had planned to stay there for 3 weeks and bought a two-way ticket. But towards the end of this trip, Christine decided that she had fallen in love with the area and wanted to stay a little bit longer to explore a little more. Christine was also becoming more and more involved in a group called Green Life Evolutions, and this group has since been disbanded because many people believed it to be a cult. Christine decides to stay on the East Coast, and in September of 2008, she moves to Humboldt County, California. At the beginning of this trip, Christine would call her family frequently, keeping in touch with them often, letting them know what was going on. But as time went on, she would call less and less, and she also wasn't working as much, so this would often lead her to call her family occasionally to get some money. Her dad would even send her $1,000, but this would remain completely untouched in her bank account. A few weeks before Christine disappeared, she called her mother, and allegedly this was a concerning phone call. Like, her mom was really worried about her and asked her to come back, but Christine told her mother that she was going to be just fine and decided to stay longer. Then on November 7th of 2008, Christine takes part in a cleansing ceremony where they all drink ayahuasca-infused tea. For those that don't know, ayahuasca is not a legal substance here in the United States, and it is a hallucinogenic. Christine stays with the group of people who were part of this cleansing ceremony until November 11th of 2008. That's when she leaves Arcata, California, because that's where this all took place. It was in the morning hours of November 11th, 2008 that Christine shows up on a couple's property on their front porch. She has scratches all over her body, and her feet are basically raw from running through the woods all night long. She was covered in blood. But not only that, she was scared and completely nude. Christine was taken to the hospital, and there she told doctors and police that she was running from demons who were chasing her. We'll get into more in part 2. It'll be down in the comments.
It's nice to almost think of it as a fun song to sing along to.
That ain't Pepper.
Let's begin with our first song now. Try to repeat after me.
Oh, she's hiding from her.
Woman named Olivia Conkle says that some very strange things have been happening at the apartment that she shares with her boyfriend. Doors in the apartment often just open and close all on their own. One night, the couple returns home and sees something truly horrifying that seems to be staring out of their apartment window.
Ghost took residency in the apartment. I'm good, I'm out. You can have it.
Looks around their apartment, but there's just nothing there.
We're about to go in. I don't think I've ever been more scared in my life. I don't even have any words.
But the paranormal activity in their home seems to be getting worse every day. One night, Olivia is all alone when this happens.
What the fuck was that?
I am a cursed doll that is on the loose. Hello, my name is Annabelle. In the 1970s, I was given to a nurse in Connecticut named Donna. At first, everything was fine, but after a few days, Donna started to notice some strange activity. I started appearing in different parts of the room without being touched. Then, they would come home to strange childlike notes. Something was off. They contacted a medium, who told them
the spirit of a young and lonely girl named Annabelle Higgins attached to the doll.
Feeling bad, they let me stay. But the occurrences got weirder. Her roommate began to have nightmares of me attacking him, and then woke up with 7 claw-like scratches on his chest. Donna decided to contact a priest, who brought in 2 paranormal investigators that said
This is no child spirit. It's a demonic entity that's manipulating the doll to get closer to you. She needs to be locked away.
They removed me from the home, and I was locked into a case at the Warren Occult Museum, where I sat for the last 54 years. The Warrens warned that touching me will make you carry home bad luck, but someone did 3 days ago.
Skinwalkers stepped it up. Man, when they freaking, well, we know they captured Annabelle while she's back in her cage or whatever it was at, but she went on a spree, bro, and like some weird things was happening around her, so guess, man, we gotta take that with a grain of salt. Stay away from the Annabelle doll, man. I don't know how people be making movies on that. Dados em vídeo.
Yo, the sky is fucking blue! And then it turned off! Nope! Yo!
I got that on camera! I got that on camera! I got that on camera!
Worst thing was, Feds just went that way. You know what? Feds, no lights.
Fuck! Bitch, what? Hey, what the fuck?
It's like a light switch. On and off.
What the fuck?
Everybody knows something's up. Everybody knows. That is not normal. Everyone is looking up, wondering why the sky is split. Look. The sky is broken. And everybody knows something's fishy, don't you? Fishy, ain't it?
You know, that's the first time I ever seen this.
That's right. It's fishy.
Follow for more.
That was crazy, man. One side of the sky was lit, the other side was dark, and the first clip, man, when it was turned on and off like a light switch, it was pure blue, then it just turned to dark. I don't know what was going on, man. You can't explain that. I don't know if that's like a natural phenomena or something. Not one that I've heard.
It's a man you can slap but can also stroke.
Hey mamá, papá, pare. Hay alguien llorando aquí, venga, algo, no está bien. Venga papi, en serio, uy, Dios mío, señor. Mire, Dios mío, esto es una cámara. Él está aquí llorando, no sé, como que...
Skinwalker.
Dios mío, Señor, yo sí lo escuchaba. Señor Jesús, papá, papá, ay, Dios mío.
That looked like a skinwalker.
Patata, 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 patata. Mom, what's wrong?
what he doing. Here, stick your tongue out. I'm out. I've seen anything like that, man. We out. See you, Kish. If you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up in this video. Comment down below. Hit that post notification bell as well so you always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.